Every time you open a soft drink, you're not just harming your own health. It could also affect your children and future generations. Yes, that one fizzy, sweet sip could leave an invisible scar that your children may carry long after you're gone. Soft drinks don't just play with your taste buds, they play with your brain. They make you crave, repeat, and depend on them, even though you know they're slowly damaging your body. And the scariest part, you're not the one in control. Your brain is. In this video, we'll uncover the real reason your brain keeps tricking you into drinking those sugary sodas, what chemical reactions happen inside you every time you take a sip, and how these effects can silently pass down to your next generation. So stay with me till the end, because once you understand what's really going on, you'll never look at a soft drink the same way again. Our brain is a strange machine. On one hand, it handles all the complex processes in our body that keep us alive. But on the other hand, it sometimes makes us do things we know are wrong or harmful. You've probably noticed this. You know that a certain action or food might not be good for your body or health, but you do it anyway. This is one of the tricks of our brain. For example, many of you may already know that soft drinks like Coke, 7-Up, Fanta, Sprite, Mojo, and others have harmful effects on our body. These drinks can lead to diseases like heart problems, diabetes, fatty liver, weight gain, and even reduced fertility. But even after knowing all this, most people still can't stop drinking them. Some people manage to stop for a while, but then they end up drinking again. Why is this? If I explain the ingredients inside these drinks and how they affect our brain, you'll start to understand. Let's take a look at the components in these drinks and why they make us crave them over and over again. Number 1. Sugar soft drinks are loaded with sugar. For example, a 250 milliliter glass of Coke contains about 27 grams of sugar. That's equivalent to 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar. When you drink these soft drinks, your taste buds experience a sweet taste. Our tongue has receptors that sense sweetness, and these receptors send a signal to the brain, especially to a part called the cerebral cortex, where it activates the brain's reward center, releasing dopamine, a chemical that makes us feel good. Dopamine, many of us are familiar with this term. When dopamine binds to its receptors in the brain, you start feeling good and happy. That's the feeling most people love. But the story doesn't end there. This happiness is just the beginning. The brain records this experience in such a way that it remembers, when I drink this, I get a reward and feel good. So the next time you drink it, the brain urges you to do it again. Now, this could be related to eating something or performing an activity that causes the brain to feel happiness. The brain will repeatedly encourage you to do whatever gives you this feeling. What's fascinating is that the release of dopamine is triggered by drinking soft drinks, and this feeling of happiness comes with it. Over time, this changes. How does it change? Let's say today you drink 1 glass of Coke and it gives you a certain amount of dopamine. If you keep drinking that same glass of Coke for 7 days in a row, by the 7th day, you won't get as much dopamine as you did on the first day. You'll notice that the longer people drink soft drinks, the stronger the desire to drink them becomes. If they manage to control it, that's one thing. But if they don't, they'll end up drinking more or drinking more frequently. For example, if they used to drink it once a day, now they might drink it twice. The reason is that the brain has already recorded the reward, but as time passes, the same amount of drink doesn't give the same effect. So the brain sends signals to drink more and more to get that dopamine release again. Number 2, caffeine. The second ingredient is caffeine. A 250 milliliter Coke contains about 25 milligrams of caffeine. But why add caffeine? Companies don't spend money on caffeine for no reason. Caffeine, just like sugar, has several effects on the brain. The interesting part is that we consume caffeine daily, but we don't always understand what it's doing to our bodies. I'll make a separate video about caffeine, but for now, it's important to know that caffeine, like sugar, releases dopamine in our brain. It activates the brain's reward center, giving us that feeling of happiness, just like sugar does. And again, the brain wants that feeling of happiness to repeat itself. Number 3, carbonation, gas. When you open a bottle or can of soft drink, there's a sound. That's the gas escaping. This carbonation is in the drink from the beginning, but it slowly starts to escape once you open the cap. If you buy a bottle of soda and leave it open for a few days, the carbonation will disappear, and the drink will taste too sweet to enjoy. There are 2 reasons for adding carbonation to soft drinks. First, the sugar in these drinks isn't felt as much because of the gas, so you're consuming a lot of sugar without realizing it. Second, the gas helps activate the brain's reward system and release dopamine, making you want to drink more. So these 3 elements, sugar, caffeine, and carbonation, all work together when you drink soft drinks, making the effects stronger. That's why the desire to drink soft drinks is so strong, and quitting becomes difficult. However, some people have successfully stopped. Genetic factors. There's also an interesting factor, genetics. Research shows that people with a variant of the FTO gene tend to crave sugary drinks more than others. Around 20 to 30% of people have this genetic variant. So, if you find it hard to quit soft drinks, this gene could be a reason why. But don't worry, just because you have this gene doesn't mean you can't quit. You can still reduce your intake gradually and eventually stop drinking them completely. Diet sodas, the healthier trap. Now, you might wonder about diet sodas or zero sugar drinks. These drinks don't contain sugar, but they are still sweetened somehow. Whether it's with sugar or artificial sweeteners, the brain senses sweetness. So, the same thing happens with diet sodas. They activate the reward center of your brain, and the cycle continues. Interestingly, many people start drinking diet sodas because they believe they're healthier than regular soft drinks. But research shows that diet sodas can still cause the same health issues as regular sodas. We'll dive deeper into this in another video. So that's the reality. Many of you are trying to quit soft drinks, but every time, something in your mind convinces you to have just one more. You tell yourself things like, all right, I'll drink this one last time and then stop. Or, it's so hot today, I'll just drink one to feel better, and that's it. But that little voice in your head convincing you, that's not actually you. It's your brain tricking you. Your brain is playing games, and it's not just you. It happens to many people. If you've noticed how your brain tries to fool you like this, share your experience in the comments. When everyone comments and shares their situation, you'll start recognizing these tricks more clearly. Then, the next time your brain tries to use the same excuses, you'll know. It's just trying to deceive you again. And once you can see through that trick, quitting soft drinks will become much easier. So, share your story in the comments. It might help others too. Stay healthy and take care of yourself.